Did Linda really just call the cops on the police chief's retirement party? That single sentence might have been the most astonishing thing I'd ever heard at a barbecue, and I once witnessed a man propose with a sausage link. The moment those red and blue lights rolled into our peaceful cul-de-sac, half my guests froze mid-bite. One guy dropped his chicken drumstick in shock. Linda, our neighborhood's HOA dictator, stood on her porch like she'd just summoned a SWAT team. The only issue? Her emergency was my backyard cookout, and the supposed troublemaker was me, tending the grill and dishing out smoked potatoes to a crowd that included 3 sergeants, 5 deputies, the mayor's nephew, and the guest of honor himself, Chief Daniel Harris, the most respected officer our town had ever known. That morning had begun like the ideal barbecue day: warm sunlight, a gentle breeze, and the aroma of cedar smoke drifting through the air like a tribute to meat lovers everywhere. I'd been planning this retirement celebration for over a month. Chief Harris had served 30 years without ever asking for recognition, no grand farewell, no ceremony. So when he mentioned over coffee that he'd quietly exit his role, I couldn't let it slide. He deserved more. We all owed him. He'd rescued my cat from a storm drain, taught self-defense to local kids, and once halted a runaway lawnmower with nothing but a broom and sheer determination. If anyone deserved a memorable send-off, it was him. By noon, the setup was flawless. A hulking smoker chugged away in the yard's corner. Tables gleamed in blue and silver as CRVYC color, and a jazz quartet tuned up near the garage. Folding chairs formed a loose semicircle around the lawn. The neighborhood hummed with anticipation, well, most of it. Across the fence, Linda's eyes glinted through her blinds. Let me describe Linda. Picture a woman fueled by fury, HOA bylaws, and an unshakable conviction that she alone upheld civilization. She was the type to measure hedges with a tape measure and lodge complaints about chirping birds. Her house resembled a sterile showroom, sharp lines, no warmth. So when she spotted balloons and chairs sprouting on my lawn, she pounced. At 1:17 p.m., she emerged at the fence like a hawk in a cardigan. "Excuse me, are you aware large gatherings require HOA approval 72 hours in advance?" she barked, waving a laminated rulebook like a sacred text. I smiled politely, brushing sauce on a rack of ribs. "Hey, Linda, got city approval, and the HOA signed off last week. Tom from Lot 3 handled it." Her face twisted like she'd bitten into a sour grape. "I wasn't informed." "You were on the email," I replied, stifling a chuckle. "Check your junk folder." She didn't flinch, just glared and hissed, "This isn't over." Yes, trickled in by 2:00 off. Duty officers and casualties, families with kids, even a retired police dog named Rusty sporting a bow tie. The VYB was perfect. Chief Harris arrived at 3, visibly stunned, and teared up as everyone yelled, "Surprise!" The man who'd once wrestled a thief holding a turkey leg was speechless, eyes misty beside the grill. For a fleeting moment, all was right. Then came the sirens. Heads turned as a patrol car crept down the street, lights flashing out urgent, but enough to halt the party like a freeze frame. Linda stood triumphant on her porch, phone in one hand, a glass of what I assumed was pure Spite in the other. I glanced at Chief Harris, expecting a laugh, but his face darkened. "No one called for backup," he muttered, striding toward the car. I followed as 2 officers stepped out, looking baffled. "Thank you, officers," Linda announced loudly. I reported an unauthorized gathering, fire risk, excessive noise. The younger cop blinked. "Ma'am, you called this in?" She nodded smugly. "It violates HOA and county codes." "I have proof." The officer interrupted. "So, this is awkward. You reported a disturbance at Chief Harris's retirement party." Linda froze. "What?" The second cop grinned, nodding at Daniel. "That's him, the guy you wanted us to stop." The noise Linda made was indescribable, like a cat choking on a whistle. She stammered, eyes darting between the chief and the officers. Chief Harris stepped forward, voice steady but sharp. "Linda, weren't you in VY Ted?" "Well, I didn't know." He raised a hand. 6 years here, and you've reported everyone from the UPS guy to Santa Claus, but you didn't recognize your police chief at his own party?" Her mouth flapped uselessly. The younger cop chuckled, turning to me. "Sorry for the mix-up. Smells great, by the way. Plenty to share," I offered. They declined with smiles and drove off. Linda stood dumbfounded, then shuffled back to her porch, vanishing behind her curtains like a defeated cartoon villain. Chief Harris clapped my shoulder. "Son, that might have been the best party entrance ever." I grinned. "Wait till you taste the ribs." The celebration resumed, music flowing, laughter rising, kids chasing fireflies. But I knew Linda wasn't finished. She didn't just lose, she schemed. The next morning proved it. An official-looking envelope slid under my door, HOA letterhead, violation notice in bold red. I opened it and nearly laughed. Charges included unapproved event, unauthorized charcoal use, public disturbance, and my favorite, excessive balloon usage. Fines totaled overdue law $1,300, all signed by Linda Hayes, HOA's secretary. She'd underlined, immediate action required, twice. I didn't panic. I had permits, emails, even a thank you note from the mayor. But this wasn't about rules, it was personal. Linda was rewriting the narrative, painting me as the villain after calling the cops on a lawful party. I called Tom from Lot 3. She held an emergency HOA meeting last night, he said, voice low. Claimed your party was a hazard. Left out the police chief part. Anyone support her? Just Howardy's scared of her. The rest were confused. I sighed. What's her plan? She's pushing to revoke your permit retroactively and fine you. Threatened to call the fire department about open flames. It was absurdly theatrical. Sure enough, the next day, a fire marshal arrived in a red SUV, clipboard in hand. Got a report about unsafe flames, he said, scanning my yard. Let me guess, Linda? He smirked faintly. I didn't say that. I showed him the smoker, permits, and extinguishers all up to code. He paused at a photo on the patio table, me and Chief Harris with ribs. Daniel's retirement? He asked, grinning. He's my cousin. Said it was the best send-off ever. I exhaled. Then you know it's legit. Sure do. You're good. He took a rib and left, wav-ying at Linda's blinds. She mouthed no, like a movie lane watching her plot crumble. I thought that was it. But Linda escalated. Another envelope arrived, new charges, non-compliance with inspection, unauthorized signage, balloons, and obstruction of VYEU, a banner. I fought back with security footage, Linda sneaking into my yard pre-party, popping a balloon for spite. I sent it to the HOA and City Council with a calm note, EVY Denke of concerning Behav Y, or by a board member. Responses flooded in talk, amusement, and swift action. The HOA called an emergency meeting, moved to the auditorium due to turnout. Linda sat up front, scowl intact, as neighbors aired years of grievances, grass measuring, petty citations, even a lemonade stand takedown. The board voted unanimously she was out as secretary, barred from citations for a year. The room cheered, cupcakes appeared. Linda stormed off, vowing appeals. Days later, she sued me for emotional distress and defamation over the viral footage, not my doing. In court, her lawyer flailed as the judge dismissed it. She trespassed and called police on the chief. Case closed. Linda left silently. Neighbors left a neighborhood MVP sign on my lawn with balloons. We gathered around a fire pit that night, no drama, just peace. A week later, Linda filed again small claims, citing balloons as intimidation. Armed with letters, footage, and Chief Harris's statement, I faced her in court. The judge shut it down. This is petty. Dismissed. Stop harassing him. She nodded, defeated. That Friday, neighbors returned organically snacks, drinks, a gavel-shaped cake. Chief Harris shook my hand. Linda's house stayed dark. A note appeared in my mailbox. Congratulations, you won. Enjoy it. No signature needed. Peace settled in, kids on bikes, dogs barking, smoke rising from my grill. The HOA planned quarterly cookouts. I hosted the first. No citations, just ribs and laughter. Linda watched from afar, but the blinds stayed still. Victory tasted smoky and sweet.